A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a high-stakes interview with Fox News Brett Baier on Wednesday, Vice President Kamala Harris faced a barrage of tough questions that highlighted the challenges she may encounter as she campaigns for the presidency. This marked Harris's first interview with a media outlet considered hostile to her campaign, and many observers viewed it as a potential liability for the Democratic candidate. The interview, lasting around 30 minutes, was fraught with tension as Baier pressed Harris on critical issues, particularly immigration, which has become a focal point in the upcoming election. Harris began the interview with a relatively strong stance, but as the conversation progressed, her responses became increasingly defensive and evasive. When asked about the number of illegal immigrants who had entered the United States since President Biden took office, Harris responded, "We have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired," without providing any specific figures. This pattern continued when Baier inquired whether she regretted the Biden administration's decision to end the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy. Instead of addressing the question directly, Harris pivoted to her commitment to following the law, stating, "I have made that statement over and over again, and as vice president, that is exactly what I've done." Perhaps most strikingly, Harris forcefully rejected her previous stance on decriminalizing illegal border crossings, asserting, "I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president, and I will not do that as president." Throughout the interview, Harris frequently shifted the focus to attacking former President Donald Trump. She claimed that the American people are ready to move past the divisiveness associated with Trump, stating, "They want a president who has a plan for the future, and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country." However, critics noted that Harris failed to provide substantial details about her own policies or how her administration would differ from Biden's. Instead, she often resorted to criticizing Trump's rhetoric and policies, particularly regarding immigration and the economy. For instance, when asked about why voters might not trust her to address inflation, she responded by discussing Trump's economic plan rather than outlining her own. This approach seemed to resonate poorly with the Fox News audience, which is predominantly supportive of Trump. Harris's interview also touched on foreign policy, where she reiterated her stance that Iran is the primary adversary of the United States. She stated, "I was there. I was recently in the Situation Room in the most recent attack, working with the heads of our military, and doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself." As the interview concluded, Baier claimed that Harris's team arrived late and attempted to signal for him to end the interview prematurely, which limited the scope of questions he could ask. Many political analysts are left questioning the effectiveness of Harris's performance, especially given the imminent election. With only 3 weeks remaining until voters head to the polls, Harris's ability to connect with undecided voters, particularly in swing states, is critical. The interview has raised concerns among her campaign team, as they grapple with the reality that Harris's responses may not have effectively swayed any potential Republican voters. Instead, her focus on attacking Trump, rather than presenting her own vision for the future, could prove detrimental as the election approaches. Harris's demeanor during the interview also drew scrutiny. Some observers noted that her tone was inconsistent, and her nervousness was apparent at times. Critics argue that her inability to articulate a clear policy agenda, combined with a tendency to deflect questions, could leave voters feeling unsatisfied and unpersuaded. As the election season heats up, Harris must navigate the complex political landscape, where every interview and public appearance can significantly impact her campaign's trajectory. With a polarized electorate, the challenge remains for her to present a compelling vision that resonates with a diverse range of voters. The fallout from this interview may linger, as both supporters and detractors analyze her performance and its implications for her candidacy. In the coming weeks, the pressure will be on Harris to demonstrate that she can effectively engage with voters and articulate her plans for the future, rather than solely relying on critiques of her opponents. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.